Hello, GVA official. My name is the 24-hour prestige. You can also call me David. This is my first time ever posting on the channel, and I'm really excited to be here. Today I'm playing Calibur 4, you can see on the screen, and I do play this as well as LA Noire on my channel. However, the majority of my videos are Call of Duty Black Ops or Modern Warfare 2 or also World at War commentaries. So you're going to see variety, however the majority of my videos are Call of Duty. However, enough about myself, let's get on to the video. Now, for today's commentary, I thought I'd kind of bring a series that I'm doing over on my personal channel. I thought I'd bring it over to GVA, and it's Open Forum. Now, what Open Forum is it's me talking about a controversial topic. Now, whether that topic is racism, abortion, religion, or it could be something weird like a weird story I found in the news about how someone's penis got chopped off and put in the garbage disposal. It's pretty random when it comes to open forums. But I always ask the viewers and my subscribers, what's your thoughts on this? I really don't want to be just a guy talking and saying his thoughts because, you guys are going to feel like I'm the man with a microphone, I'm the leader, I'm forcing you to believe something that you don't want to believe in, and that's not what this series is about. This series is really about sharing your opinions on things that you don't really see people talk about in commentaries, and I think I do a pretty good job of switching up the subject so each and every commentary is fresh. And for today's open forum, I have a really difficult subject. It's a very serious commentary. It's not just a fun, happy-go-lucky one. This is an actual horrible thing that happened. This is a story off CNN.com about a 10-year-old who was recently found dead in a plastic storage container. The little girl's name was Amy Deal, and at first her relatives were trying to cover up for the people who committed the crime and said that it must have happened in a game of hide-and-go-seek, that there's no way that any one of her relatives would purposely harm Amy in any way. However, that theory quickly proved to be false when the police found that a padlock was placed on the plastic storage container in the backyard. Investigators quickly found out that Amy's cousin and her cousin's husband were behind the attack on her. However, Amy's cousin was pleading that, it wasn't an attempt at murder, it wasn't preemptive, it was a punishment for her stealing a popsicle from the freezer. So one popsicle stolen from one freezer is the reason why this 10-year-old little girl was murdered. That just doesn't make sense. However, Amy was described by neighbors and by family members not related to the murder as a girl who suffered through harsh punishments for things that she definitely didn't deserve. Examples of that were she was forced to sleep on the shower floor after bedwetting, something that's very normal for kids, especially at the age of 10. I know I wetted the bed once or twice. It's not out of the blue. It's not something worth punishing someone that harshly. She was also forced to eat hot sauce after lying. Now, the neighbors knew right away that this so-called accident was no such thing. They knew that Amy was harshly punished all the time and publicly punished, and the neighbors were witnesses to this. They didn't contact the police. They didn't contact any form of law enforcement. They just said, oh, it's none of my business. It's not my job to call them out, to get them in trouble, to call the police on them. I'm just going to let them abuse their child and, let them be on their way because it's not my job. Now, of course, it's not the neighbor's fault that this 10-year-old little girl was murdered. However, if they were more active in being a bystander, if they were proactive and decided to call the police and just, give them the heads up that something shady was going on, maybe it could have prevented this death and this horrible situation that whole family is now in. So there are two main questions that I wanted to ask you guys about, and I really got inspired about these because I read this article and made me think. And the first one being, when you see something really bad happening, something that shouldn't be going on, for example, publicly punishing and really harshly punishing a child, or, if there's a fight going on at school and it's physical, it's getting really intense, do you step in, do you break up the fight, something like that. Now, when you see a situation like this arising, do you become an active bystander or just a bystander? Do you think it's morally right to intrude on someone else's business, per se, and say what you think is right and call out whoever's being wrong? Or do you hang back and say it's their business, I'm going to stay out of it, and I'm going to let them work it out themselves? Now, if you answered that you are kind of a bystander, you don't want to get involved in someone else's business, at what point does the situation need to arise to for you to step in and for you to act on what you believe is morally right? Now, my answer for that is I'm not normally the type of person who's an active bystander. I'm not normally the kind of guy who kind of steps into a situation and says what's going on, says who's wrong, who's right. I'm normally the kind of person who waits for the situation to get really bad. I normally wait until the time where someone's about to get hurt. If someone's getting hurt over a dispute or something like that, it's really not worth it. That's when I'll step in and say, you know what, this really isn't right. You guys need to work it out somewhere else. However, if this same situation is happening with a group of close friends, right when it happens, I'm going to be like, you guys, it's not right. This is not what you should be doing. I'm not going to let it get to that point because I'm more comfortable around my friends. It's kind of a personality trait. I'm more worried about what random people would do than what my friends would do when I know them really well and I know how they normally react. And the second question is more open-ended. Do the Allens, the two people who committed the murder of the 10-year-old little girl, do the Allens represent pure stupidity or pure evil? And my answer for this one is I really think that they do represent pure stupidity. I don't think that anyone would be so evil enough that they think that doing this to a 10-year-old little girl is the right thing to do or the beneficial thing to do for this child. I really think this is one of those situations where they were raised really improperly and this just is the norm for them, abusing a little girl. Well, anyways, guys, my time is wrapping up. If you enjoyed this commentary, come check out my channel, and as always, please comment below with your answers to the two questions. I'm also really interested to see what you guys have to think about this, because it really is a thought-provoking story. Thanks again, guys. 24 Hour Prestige, signing off.